What did the bully do at your school that made you think that's too far? Belted some kid with a chunk of wood 2x4 for talking to his girl. Kid got a depressed skull fracture or some shit. Bully went to jail. I went to a boarding school. Some kid got pinned down by two guys while another bounced his balls on his face. This kid got ADMR ball bouncy by pissing into a water bottle and pouring it all over his room. Both were kicked out. Fifth grade. She mercilessly bullied the shortest, smallest kid in class every day. She called him midget, and other things like that. I distinctly remember the day she shoved him to the ground outside of school. That was when I knew I had to stay away from her no matter what. About 5-ish years later, her and her boyfriend were involved in the murder of her mom and sister. They found her trying to run away to Mexico. Completely horrifying and heartbreaking situation. Threw exploding firecrackers into some random lady's baby carriage and severely injured the baby. A group of kids liked to piss off this real nice teacher because they said he was creepy, so one day they played a prank where one of them pretended to hang themselves and he had a stroke because of it. I like annoying teachers and all, but even I was like, holy shit. He tried to stab a friend's eyes out and tried to stab a relative of mine with glass. Yet another beat the crap out of a friend with a group of like 20 of his own friends. Totally unrelated group chased a friend of mine with a knife trying to stab him. This one may be kind of mild compared to others. But there was a freshman on our wrestling team who was a completely dweeb and got picked on a lot by this group of sophomore wrestlers, our 113, 120 and 138 wrestlers. Anyways, one day they decided it would be a good idea to pee on him in the showers after practice. That made me so mad. I talked to the coach next day and got to drill live matches, actually wrestling each other with each of them on rotation for 10 practices straight. Maybe the most satisfying thing I've ever done. Kid they picked on qualified for state his senior year. Karma's a bitch. One bully at my school pushed a kid down the stairs, where there were shards of glass at the bottom, which he landed on. The bully was expelled, in anger management, probation, and juvie for a short time. The kid's okay. He has serious scars though. Some guy tried to light a girl's hair on fire. He didn't succeed, but she was ready to beat the shit out of him. I held her back. At this point I'm not sure that was the right choice. It's hard to say. I don't know where he is now, but he probably could have used a beating. My friend had finally grown her hair back after chemo. So yeah, that guy was a giant dick, and maybe I should have let her kick his ass. I thought he was good dude before that event, but yup. Way too far. I was severely bullied in grade school. I was basically tormented and tortured for 8 years. When I was about 5 they locked me in the bathroom and turned out the lights, and told me this ghost lady was going to come out of the mirror and kill me. Another time when the teacher left the room, this kid grabbed my glasses from my face and started tossing them around to all the other kids. They eventually broke. And I don't know why, but I told my dad I lost them and he was very angry with me. We were also poor, so needless to say I was blind for a few weeks until we could afford to get new ones. To beat the shit out of the nicest guy in school. Nice guy was huge. Not fat, but big ahead of the rest of us. But he wouldn't fight back. Just kept getting hit on the way to his next class. He turned around once, and we thought it was on, but then he calmed himself down, turned the other cheek and walked to class. I was amazed. So much class 2 of my buddies and myself beat the shit out of the bully the next day. Told him never to fuck with big guy again. He never did. I wish I had the ability to turn the other cheek like that back then. Had to learn the hard way much later in life. Tied some kid's gym locker up with his t-shirt, but before they did they squirted mustard all over his clothes. I helped him get his locker back open. They weren't happy, but I was a varsity wrestler so they didn't mess with me.